Skyfly Decoys, the best windsock decoy. For your ultimate waterfowl needs, contact Wayne with Skyfly Decoys. You'll be fine. Got some service up here. Dakota texted me. He's got a 2-point. That is getting closer. So we're gonna off it to him. Where is he?
I can't even describe it to you, dude.
That bad, huh?
He's in some shit, dude.
Is he?
He's starting to clear up those blocks. He's clear up top.
I told you. You seen anything off to the left, or just him?
I've just seen him. So.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but he's with the Dill.
Okay. Where is he, Dakota? What happened? What happened?
I've been up here all day trying to find Scott and Preston got up here after me. I'd spotted a little 2-point. Been watching them all day. We decided that it's too far to go for that little 2-point.
Well, the lights, too.
Yeah. So Preston and I were sitting over here glassing. Scott got a hold of me on the radio and said that he's got $2. He said he's got 6 deer down the line. $2 in that little 2x3 we were watching last night. It's down below again. So we're making our way over to him with a house Martin can kill that thing. Let's go.
We're sitting here. We lost him for a minute. And then I happened to look down in the green and found him. There's that little 2-point, 3-point right there. It's hard to tell. We're 450 yards from him.
There's another one back in the bushes down here.
That was that 3-point. You didn't see his antlers?
Oh, I saw his antlers. I thought you were talking about the little thing that's out there. So the deer dropped over the backside, but they came back up. Now they're 100 yards in front of us. Can't see them right now because I got this tree in the way. Scott and Martin are back behind us, but that actually kind of works for us because we got the winds in our favor now with them instead of blowing right at them. So. Yeah, I'm curious what bumped him back over that hill right there.
I didn't see the little 2-point. I don't know where he went.
I haven't seen the little 2-point since over here. There were 4 of them, now there's 3.
He was the first one to go over.
No.
I'm wondering if he got caught by coyotes or something. I'm not sure. Because they were yipping.
Yeah, right down there.
Yeah.
Right down. going on here? What happened?
Well,
We got deer hunted.
yeah,
We got hunted.
Typical deer hunt. It doesn't always work out, but the
Yeah.
10% that it does work out makes stuff like that
Pretty great.
worth it. But we had 4 deer that Martin spotted. We got the wind that was wrong. We were running out of time, so we didn't have any other choice but to just haul ass at them and see what happens.
and we booked it. We went the wrong direction because it ended up going right where we would have been. And then we went bushwhacking forever and lost them.
Yeah.
Something must have moved and it wasn't us, even though our scent was, it couldn't have been good for us. I mean, the only thing that could happen is the scent could have been blowing over them, but it was the wind was wrong, but we had 20 minutes of daylight, so we had to do something. And it just didn't pan out. But it's a good spot. There's that place there is where deer like to live. That is Deer Hilton right there.
Yeah.
So
What do you think of your second day of deer hunting, Martin? Better than the first one?
Yeah, I mean, we saw more deer, so.
yeah, it's a pretty good deal. It's a nice spot.
Yep. Saw some stuff with some horns on them, and
Yeah.
at least you got to chase them a little bit, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Full deal.
What do you have to say?
I'm gonna have to go to the gym tonight.
God, you look like crap on camera. We're out here this morning. I want to say we got an early start, but we kind of got a late start. Didn't get out here for a while. Started snowing overnight, and the wind is ripping out here. It is deer season, so Preston and I, we got this wild hair up our butts about how we're gonna go do a backpacking trip up into these mountains that are up in front of us, and I think it'll turn out pretty well with the snow and the way the weather is, and I don't know, what do you think?
It's gonna be good. We've kind of sat here the last hour glassing this mountain that we'll show you here in a minute. Like he was saying, the wind is just absolutely howling right now. We're kind of wanting to let it
Die off a
little bit, let the clouds kind of disperse from the mountain, because we can't even see the top of this right now.
When we first got here, you couldn't even see up into the bowl.
No.
The whole mountain was socked in. So, I mean, it's clearing up, and I think it's going to start getting better. It's still kind of snowing. We'll just see what happens. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm getting excited about doing this trip. We've been talking about it for years, about getting up into the backcountry up in here. You know that there's good deer all over through here. I mean, there's a lot of good genetics running around. So hopefully we can hop back up into a place that most people don't access and just see what we run into.
Well, we're walking up about 800-900 yards from the truck. Hopped out six does. Unfortunately, Big Daddy is not around. Hey, we can't say we didn't get skunked. Yep.
Staring at that mountain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spot scope. I can't tell for sure.
On the spotter? Here. Sorry. Good. It's in the spot.
Yeah, in the middle.
Sitting here. Glanced over and there's a couple moose down in the bottom. Sitting here, decided to look up into here after the sun went down. Spotted a buck. He's really spindly.
And he's really far away.
Yes, he's probably a good. There he is. He's really not horrible. So we're up on here.
208-406-9227.
Dude, I don't know. We're up on here. Decided to look up after the sun went down over here. Spotted a little 3-point. Very thin.
Yeah, he's a little.
Yeah, he's
not much
he's
to
pretty
him at
little.
all.
But haven't seen much. We've seen, well, can't say we haven't seen much. We've seen a lot of does. A lot of does.
5 moose.
5 moose. And 2 bucks. 2 bucks.
And birds.
A lot of birds.
A lot of birds.
But looks like we're about done for the night. And we'll get the morning in. So this morning it was cold. Got up here. We haven't seen any deer.
There he is.
Haven't seen any deer. Saw a really good bull moose, a couple cows. And then Dakota put the spotter up on here. I mean, he's in a tough place, but he is a monster.
He's got stickers.
He's got stickers going everywhere. Here, you got him on?
I'm working on getting him centered. There we go, he's centered. He's right there. Right there in the middle. We can try to zoom in on him. Oops.
You can go from my phone too, dude.
Oh. I'm shaking already.
Oh no, dude, he's big.
This is a good buck. He had his head turned at us a second ago, and holy shit, he's
Just a 3x4.
Mm-hmm.
But he turned his head and he's got
There's stuff going every which
just
direction.
everywhere.
I wish he'd turn his head again. So we zoomed all the way in on the camera.
Yeah, but look at this.
Nice.
He is an absolute monster.
So
One of the biggest bucks I've ever seen up in this place. So we're gonna go after him.
we gotta try.
We've got to. And we're gonna go up behind.
Turn his head back.
Oh yeah, here he is. Man, that.
See, he doesn't look like it from this
He
side,
doesn't, but when he turns, he's probably, what, 27?
I would say probably about 26, but he just has shit going everywhere.
Yeah. He kind of turned it a little bit more.
There we go, he's turning to us now.
It's hard to tell, obviously, in this. I mean, Here's a reason he got this big.
So it's first thing in the morning. Preston and I were standing here, just glassing everything. When I looked up over there and I saw something shining, so I put my binos up, put the spot and scope on it. Turns out it's a big buck. We're gonna try to put a stalk on it now. He's a little over a mile away from us, so we're gonna shoot up this ridge, cut up and around, and we're gonna try to drop in on him. And he's sitting right back over there. He's in his bed. I don't think he's going anywhere today. So hopefully we can find a good vantage point. We're going to try to set up on some cliffs right above him and shoot down. We're going light. We're not even taking our packs, just taking our knives and rangefinder.
It's going to be better.
So,
we might be limited on time.
Yep.
So we got to go. You tell him about the cliff.
Yeah. Yep. So we're going to take off. Well, we're 411 yards from that buck that we spotted in his bed this morning. The thing is, he got up and moved a little bit. He's still in those trees, but from where we're at, we can't see him. We know that he's still in there. He didn't bust out. Nothing's pushed him. So we're going to sit here for a little while, and hopefully, he gets up to stretch his legs or gets up to do something. We've got it all dialed in, so if he steps out, we're going to drop him right where he's at. I'd like to try to get closer, but he's in such a crappy spot that even if there are some cliffs up over that way, even if I were to get on top of those, I'd cut it to about a 250-yard shot, but I don't think I'd be able to see him. So, I think for the most part, we're just going to sit our happy little butts right here and pray to God that he steps out. Yeah, it looks like antlers out here. I can see the other side.
Well, Dakota's moving up higher. He's going to go up to these next cliffs. See if he can get a good angle at this buck. We can't see him right now. We think we've seen his antlers moving through the trees when he picks his head up, but we can't really 100% verify it. But yeah, he's going to get up on top, and he's going to wave me up if he can get a good shot or a good angle at it. Then we'll just wait for him to pop out. I think really that's all we can do is just wait. It's just so thick in here. He's got so many exits. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be tough. Dakota's been gone for about an hour. I saw him up on top. I just glanced over and he is walking down that backside. So I'm gonna get ready, see if that deer will come my way or maybe he gets a shot off. Something caught my attention out of the corner of my eye. Looked up, Dakota was hauling, just running as fast as he can around that cliff up there. And he actually ate it. I'm wondering if that deer bailed on him, unfortunately, which isn't good. But I'm hoping to hear a shot here in a minute. Who knows? But we're off the mountain now.
What a hell of a trip, man. That was awesome.
It was a long day today. Very eventful.
Yeah. We spotted that buck first thing in the morning. And as you know, once you watch the video, you'll know how it all went down. So I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit impatient. We were sitting on that deer for a while. Preston even told me, he's like, we just need to wait it out. We just need to sit here. Well, I didn't listen.
Like usual.
Yeah.
Oh, like usual.
Yep, I didn't listen. So I told him I was going to go up to the next set of cliffs and just see if I could get a better vantage point on him, because where we were sitting, we were at 458 yards.
Yeah.
And with a buck of that magnitude, like, I wanted to get closer because I don't like to take any chances whatsoever. So we got over there, or I got over there. I left Preston, I got over to the next ridge.
There's a guy coming.
Yeah. I got over to the next ridge, and right when I popped out on top of the first set of cliffs, I peeked over first and I didn't see anything there, and I didn't really have a vantage point, so I was gonna walk down the cliff a little bit. As I start walking, I see something move in the bushes right below me, in the trees right below the cliff. And so I kind of take a step back, and I kind of peek over a little bit, and there's a damn 3-point standing right below me. Like, right below me. And so I take a couple more steps back, and I try to hunker down behind this tree. And then I start looking through the brush with my binos, and I see that there's another deer there that is staring right at me. I'm like, oh crap, well, okay. So I dropped back quite a bit, and then went to pop back over, thinking that it might be that buck that we had been watching for, because I couldn't see horns. So I pop up and I sneak right to the edge of this cliff, and I had the rangefinder, and I ranged the first deer, and he was at 15 yards, and the second deer was at 20 yards from me. And I just sat down on top of that cliff, and neither one of them had any idea I was there. I sat on top of both of them for 20 minutes and watched them bed down right in front of me. Like, I mean, they were right there.
How big were they?
3 points, both of them. They were probably 16 inches wide. I mean, they had good frames. They weren't very heavy. They were good 3 points, though. Probably something that honestly I wouldn't pass up on, except for I knew that big buck was farther down from him. So I tried going down the cliff a little bit more after they bedded down, and I must have stepped on a rock weird or something and just bumped them, because they didn't run out of there. They just kind of walked really fast away. They got up out of their beds, and then they dropped over the backside. Well, that terrain that's over there is ridiculous. Just cliffs all over the place. You have to go rock climbing to get anywhere. And so as I'm standing there, I mean, I got a little bit cocky. And I thought, well, you know, I just sat on top of these 2 3-points at 15 yards, and they had no idea I was here. Sat there for 20 minutes. So I started thinking, and I'm this close to where I think that buck's at, so I'm going to give it a shot. So I go down a couple more cliffs and get down on the horizon, or not the horizon, the flatland. It's not even flat. I don't even know. How do I describe it? The finger. Yeah, there we go. The finger that he was on, and it was bare ground. There was a lot of snow there, and it was super slick snow. So I dropped down, and I was more quiet than I've ever been with anything that I've ever tried to stalk. Tried to do everything perfectly. The ground was complete gravel and loose rock, so it made a lot of noise, but I was going very slow. And I found the patch that he had been sitting in. So I'd walk 3 steps and I'd stop and I'd glass, and just to see if I could see him in there. Well, I went to the right of the patch, because where we had seen him prior to where he was this morning, if I went to the right of the patch, I would have been able to see him laying right in his bed. And I assumed that he was still in that same general area, so I decided to go to the right. I start making my way down, and then coming from my left-hand side on the other side of the patch, I hear him just clear his nose out. And I went, well, shit. So I spun around with my rifle, and I saw him for 2 seconds as he went busting through the trees. And there was no wind, there was nothing. I was being completely silent. I don't know what happened. He didn't get that big and that old by being stupid. So I think he had a little intuition going on. But so I watch him as he breaks out and he shoots up over, and I can't believe the size of this deer. I mean, he was probably only 27 inches wide, but the girth was unreal, and he just had like 3-inch kickers going every which direction. I mean, he was a total monster. So as he's blowing out, I turn to take off and go running, see if I can get around the other side to catch him before he drops down into the big deep pines. And as I'm running across, I step on this patch of snow, and both feet go right out from underneath me. I go up in the air and flat on my back. And then so I go, and I just stand back up and I take off running again. Well, by that point, that deer was long gone. And you know, that kind of stuff, it happens sometimes. It happens to the best of us. I mean, it happens to professional hunters. I'm not saying by any means that I'm some sort of professional, but I feel like I did what I could, and it still happened. It's a learning lesson, though. I mean, you can put in all the work that you want. It doesn't mean that you're going to get it. I was sick to my stomach after that, though. After I watched him just disappear off over the top and down into the bottom, it made me sick. But you can look at it from another way, though, too. He is a huge, mature buck. He's clear up at the top of that mountain, the very tip top in the nastiest big buck country you could ever even imagine.
Over 7,500 feet in elevation.
Yeah, just
where we had set up at 458 yards away from him. I checked our elevation. We were just under 7,500 feet. So easily probably at 8,000.
I would say he's at 8,000.
At 8,000, just
hanging out. But that whole area up there, I mean, it doesn't get touched by anybody. Nobody else goes up there, and there's deer all over the place up there. But I mean, you can look at it this way: from not getting the shot on him, I didn't bump him too hard. He just cleared the patch and took one of his escape routes and went right down into the thick timber. He's not dumb. But I think that he's going to survive this year, which is a good thing, because then he can go and reproduce. He can go and breed, and there will be more bucks, hopefully, of that magnitude up through there in the next few years. And where we were at, I really didn't want to get him out of there. That was nasty. But, so it happens. I screwed up. He busted me. But we all live to see another day. So.
And I don't get any deer backstrap.
Yeah, me either. And I put in all the work. Dick.
I took you to the spot.
Yep, you didn't hike your ass up around the top of the mountain.
I hiked up the mountain.
Not around the top and on the backside and then back.
We still hiked up 2,000 feet.